All right, welcome back. The Biden administration continues their full-court press on the American public when it comes to COVID vaccines. There are a lot of people in the media who don't seem to understand why you might be reluctant to answer the door.
I mean, look, I've seen this in Los Angeles, in New York City, and places. It's already normal for public health officials to go door to door and say, hey, if you don't have information about vaccines, here's where you can go.
Now, we've heard from a lot of you, and you basically said, for the most part, the government can go pound sand when it comes to this. And why would people outside of New York and Los Angeles want to copy what's happened in New York and Los Angeles? I mean, New York, of course, you got the governor there accused of killing thousands of elderly people and then trying to cover it up, all while making millions from a book deal, touting his successful pandemic response. And then there's L.A., where the homeless population may have had something to do with the spread of COVID there. That's obviously a huge problem. The governor obviously wasn't too concerned about COVID at the peak of the pandemic when he was out dining at the French Laundry. But go ahead, Mr. MSNBC, talk about the fear-mongering.
Are they fear-mongering about something that simple that's already happening?
Because they have nothing else to stand on. They've accomplished nothing. They've harmed the very constituency that they say they care about. Things are getting worse for Donald Trump's followers because of all this nonsense. They have nothing to say. And when you have nothing to say that's good for the country, you resort to the worst possible tactics. They do not give a damn about the United States of America. They only want their own power, and they're willing to have people who are not well informed.
Why are they fear-mongering about something that's...
All right, so let's get this straight, Dr. Dean, I should say, just to be clear. The side trying to make sure that the federal government doesn't come to our houses to check on our medical records, that's the side that only want their own power? Now, again, Howard Dean used to run the Democratic National Committee, and check this out, Politico reporting Monday that Biden and allied groups, including the Democratic National Committee, are also planning to engage fact-checkers more aggressively and work with SMS text message carriers to dispel information about vaccines that is sent over social media and your text messages. And you like how Politico, I don't know if you read the article, but they just casually slid that in there in the 6th paragraph. The DNC wants your cell phone carrier to monitor your text messages for misinformation about vaccines, or maybe even your illicit Lego purchases. Let's welcome in our panel to talk more about this. Retired Marine Gunnery Sergeant and former Trump 2020 campaign co-chair for Veterans for Trump, Jessie Jane Duff, is back with us. Morgan Zegers, she is the founder of Young Americans Against Socialism. And Benny Johnson, Chief Creative Officer at Turning Point USA, is here as well. You can catch him every weekend on the Benny Report. All right, so yeah, I guess, Benny, the people that don't like the federal government coming on our own property to check on our medical records, yeah, we're the ones really concerned about retaining power. You know, the ones that don't hold the White House, that don't have the House, that don't have the Senate. It's the power we're all about, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. These are the same people who would gladly scream "my body, my choice" when it comes to abortion, scream about the government being in league with the church on that issue, yet they are the ones acting like apostles here, like Jehovah's Witnesses. Have you welcomed Fauci and Biden into your heart? I'm going door to door to ask if you have read the sacred texts of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. This kind of stuff is just borderline religious. But by the way, this is their religion. If you're talking about what they are doing, look at how they attack Republicans. They always attack Republicans for what they are planning on doing. And when they say Republicans are just about power, what a comical farce, what a farcical joke. These grotesque goblins, what they're pushing on us is so sickening, because they are the ones obsessed with power. They're the ones who think the government is God, because they are a godless people who have nothing but power.
No, that's the point. When you don't have a religion to follow, you fill the void with something like this. And, you know, Morgan, how about the DNC thinking, hey, you know what, I'm just going to call up AT&T and Verizon here, and why don't you monitor your customers' text messages for us? I read that Politico article, Morgan. I was like, you know, is nobody going to raise a bigger stink about this?
Absolutely. What I think we should look to, there's a classic leftist tactic throughout history to accuse your opponent of what you are doing. And so when that DNC representative, or when the DNC itself tells us that we're just white supremacists that are radicalizing our country and we truly don't care about anything except for radicalization, then what they're really saying is that they don't understand the American base, the conservatives, the average Americans, the working class, we are more powered up and passionate about freedom than ever before. We have a core group of values that we're going to push forward on for the next few elections, and it's going to be insane. I think the next decade is going to be pro-freedom all the way through and through. But I'm most happy, though, they're exposing themselves, okay?
Yeah.
They are truly not shameful in admitting that they do believe in authoritarianism at this point. And so it helps us reach average Americans that aren't exactly aware of how bad things have gotten. This is going to continue to expose them.
And Jesse, specifically for you, I wanted to say this. I mean, to get your reaction to Howard Dean accusing you and millions of other Trump supporters out there of not loving our country.
Oh, that to me was the most appalling thing of all. Here, every single Trump supporter is proud to fly the American flag, but yet we have leftists that are suggesting that we're all racist, extremists, and anti-American now with the American flag. I think they're calling the kettle black, so to speak, just like Morgan just said. They are repeating a narrative that they actually are practicing themselves. And to Benny's point, that we are over here now making a religion out of our government control. And this is terrifying. To want to say that you're going to check text messages for anti-vax messaging, if it's going to be my body, my choice, when will that actually matter to the Democratic Party? Only when it's concerning abortion and killing children? It's horrible where the direction they're going. And to insult 75 million Americans and suggest that they are ignorant and do not love their country, they are going to have us so fired up in 2022. We should sweep this House and Senate without any problem. If we don't, shame on us, because they are doing the work for us now, showing literally that their mask is off with hatred for their fellow Americans.
Yeah, well, you know, the whole thing about my body, my choice in this argument is, you know, for conservatives, when it comes to abortion, it's not just one body, of course, it's two bodies. The vaccine is one body, and that's a big distinction that I think a lot of people are missing here in this argument. But
hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, we're real news for real people.